Look at this. I'm freaking huge. Freaking huge. Peekaboo. Nom nom nom. That is so stupid. Anyways, welcome to That's Not Sexy. I'm your master level personal trainer, Alex Diaz, aka Mr. Freaking Huge. And this is my 7th video for Ask a Master Personal Trainer. And it's going to be another video this time. So here it is.
I don't know what's better for gaining muscle mass. High weight, low reps, or high reps, low weight.
This is a really good one because everyone's always going to be, everyone's asking me this question all the time in the gym since I've been training everybody. So is it better to lift heavier with, obviously if you're lifting heavier, you're going to have low reps, or to lift lighter, and since you're lifting lighter, you could do more repetitions. So let's go into the extremes of lifting heavy and low reps and lifting high with lighter reps. Sorry, I said it wrong. lifting heavy weight with low reps and lifting lightweight with high reps. So if you look at the extreme of all extremes, we're talking now about, those power lifters. If you look at power lifters, you gotta look at their bodies. If your concerns are about muscle development, that's what you talked about. Look at power lifters and their bodies. They don't look very muscular. They look more pudgy. And I'm sorry if there's some power lifters watching my videos, but I'm just talking about the average powerlifter. If you look at all the powerlifting strongman competitions, powerlifting, not strongman competition, that's different. Powerlifting events, they're mostly pretty pudgy. So, and if you look at bodybuilding, which they do, they lift heavy, obviously, but that's heavy to us. To them it's lighter because they're on steroids. But to them it's light because they're doing 10 reps, 15 reps on their training. So look at their bodies and you can see, well, these people are doing a higher amount of reps, right, than a 1 rep or 2 rep, with powerlifting. And these bodybuilders look insane. They have muscles like crazy. So that's the extreme. So to answer your question, I always recommend doing a higher rep range. Now, what's the rep range? I would say for upper body workouts, it should be from, I'll say 8 to 12, okay? And I'll say for lower body, it would be at least minimum 12 to 20 to 25, depending on if you're working your calves or what muscle group. But, the legs are very resilient muscles. You use them every day. If you were walking on your hands every day, it'll be a different story. Then you would do more higher reps on your upper body because you're using your upper body frequently, so it's adapting to the workout. So since you're walking all the time, jumping, climbing and everything, you're going upstairs, they're more resilient, so you have to train them harder by adding more reps to them. So as far as a rep range of like a 4 or a 5, I wouldn't recommend it for a lot of reasons. You're not going up to that 8 rep. I'll say the minimum, I'll say 7 on the last set because you're tired. But the first set should always be your warm-up set. Maybe you're doing 20 reps just to get warmed up. Maybe 2 sets of a warm-up set, which would be 20 reps, 15, 20 reps. And then you're going to add your weights to do a weight where you could do 12, okay, or 13. And then you're going to add more weight to where you're going to try to do 12 or 13, and you might only get 10 or 11. And then you're going to add more weight and do the same thing and try to get 10 or 11, but you might only get 9 or 8, okay? But my thing is about safety. That's the most important thing because you look like a young kid, and if you're going to be lifting heavy ass weight in the gym, you're more likely to get injured, and especially at a young age, that's going to hinder all your muscle gains. So I know that you're young and you want to lift heavy, you want to impress people and you want to show off and all that, say I could bench 400 pounds or whatever, but You should focus on training safely for one thing. It's the most important thing. Training correctly, the right form, and training pretty hard where you're going to each set is going to failure, but you're not lifting a weight that you can only do 5 times. What's the purpose of that? Like I said, look at the extremes of powerlifting and bodybuilding. So I actually do a lot of high reps, and I do a lot of, if I do any low reps, which would be like, to me, would be 7 and 8, I always do time under tension training, which is very slow, no momentum, okay, and I'm just doing like 4 seconds on the positive and 4 seconds on the negative, and it's just really controlling the weight or whatever I'm doing, any kind of pushing or anything workout I'm doing. I try to control the weight very slowly, and in doing that, I'm training. I'm not doing 15 reps. That's pretty hard to do. So I might go to a low rep range of an 8 rep, but again, I'm doing super slow workout. And I'm gonna talk about this in this video right now. This is not about your question, but I'm gonna talk about it now, because if you look at someone who does, let's say, 10 reps on a bench press, right? So someone does 10 reps, it takes about maybe 12 seconds to do that one set. Okay. Now for me to do the same, 10 reps would take me about maybe a minute. So who's training longer? Who's training harder? Who's training intensely? Because this guy only did 12 seconds of a workout for one set, and I'm doing close to not a minute, but maybe like 50 seconds for that same rep range, and my muscles are tense as hell, going shaking, squeezing up. My chest is exploding. So you want to train a little bit where you can, smarter, so you can control the weight without using momentum, without letting it bounce off, and you're using your triceps to help you push it up, and you're jerking it, and you're hurting your shoulder. Proper form, slow negatives, really good stretch, and a slow positive, and squeeze in your chest, or whatever workout you're doing. But I wanted just to talk about that for a second as well, because what people do is they're in the gym for an hour, but then you're only really training for like 15-20 minutes if you think about it, because your set's only 15 seconds long. You take a minute break in between, and then you do another 15 seconds. So your 2 sets will take 30 seconds. So you mean in 4 sets, that's a minute you've been training. So you finished your 4 sets in 1 minute. So you add it up. You're not really training for an hour. But if you're doing slow time under tension training with a good rep, and you try to go to a high rep, and you try to control the weight, and you can control the weight better, you're going to be training more muscles, because you're focusing on the muscle, you're tensing it up, and you're training longer on that specific muscle group. So that's why I always talk about time under tension training, and I think that's probably one of the best ways to not only get strength, but to also build muscle, because you're training that specific muscle. You're not using other muscles to help you and aid you in pushing the weight or pulling the weight. So and that's why you're getting stronger on that specific muscle group. Because if you're doing a shoulder press, like I said in my video before, do a shoulder press, and you're just jerking up, and you're swinging up, using your whole body momentum to bring up the weight, did you really do a shoulder press? No. You're really using everything you have, because your body's meant to use every ounce of every muscle you have to help you make your life easier in lifting weight. So when you want to lift the bag, you're trying to use your back and your legs, everything to lift the bag. And so that's why you got to try to focus on not using other muscle groups to help you lift your weight. So if you're focusing on that specific muscle group, you're not going to be lifting heavy, because the other muscles aren't aiding you in the push or the pull or whatever you're doing. So that's why it's important to do a lighter weight, so you can focus on the muscle and do a higher rep and keep the time under tension throughout the workout. So not only will you get stronger on that muscle, but you're training harder than anyone in the gym, and you're training smarter, and you won't get injured, because now you're focusing on the correct form and proper technique of the training that you're doing. So that is my whole take on everything. Okay, so thanks for your question, and I hope I answered your question. If whoever's watching want to ask me a question, send me a video response to this video or any of my videos. You could just send it to me. I will make a answer specifically for you in a video form. If you send me questions through Facebook and MySpace, I just said MySpace. What happened to MySpace? If you send me questions through YouTube and Facebook, then I'm gonna make a video just not specifically for you. It's gonna be a compilation of everyone's questions. I'm gonna just make one video for everybody really quickly. So that's it for that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, not only to That's Not Sexy, which is this channel, but to my second channel, Mr. Freaking Huge, to get more quick facts and did you know facts. And it's pretty much, I just say really cool things you can impress your friends. If you want something that you never learned before, you didn't know about, subscribe to my second channel so you can learn new cool things. And that's pretty much it. And if you're not subscribed, that's not sexy, man. And I'm freaking huge. Look at that. Take care.